Super Mario 3D All-Stars is a collection of Mario's greatest 3D adventures consisting of Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. And I'm unimpressed. Basically, when it was rumoured that Nintendo could be working on a Switch collection of Mario's 3D outings prior to Odyssey, I was dubious but honestly a bit giddy, as I like having games I thoroughly enjoyed in one tight package. Sonic Mega Collection, Title Legends 2, the Jak and Daxter Collection, and most recently the Crash and Spyro remakes. I know those last two don't technically count, but it's 3 games in one, so it does count. Believe me, they could have done a lot worse and charged them individually. Capcom. So having another official set of Mario games, something we haven't seen since 1993, or its 2010 Wii port, was honestly a great time to reintroduce a new set of fans who loved Odyssey but have not played Mario's 3D history. Before I go on, this is a review on the collection as a whole and how Nintendo ported these games to the Switch rather than a review on the games themselves. Mario 64 was timeless, Sunshine was different but fun, and Galaxy was my former favourite 3D Mario game before Odyssey. So let's start with the menu. Game cases at the bottom, half a screen of gameplay and the other half black with the release year and a synopsis. This is what I call the 5 minutes before the deadline look. It's so basic and minimal, it has absolutely no personality for what is extensively one of the most colourful game series of all time. Compare this to Sonic Mega Collection, where even the menus felt like an event, kinda like we were in Sega's vault. Speaking of which, we are also gifted the soundtracks to all 3 games, just in case you want to turn your console into a music player. Which you could in theory, but why would you when you can already listen to all 3 soundtracks and more online? Again, Sonic had videos, comic covers, and rare artwork. An opportunity was dangling in front of your faces and you still missed it. The one thing I do like about the menu is that every time you select a game, you get a screen wipe of the outline of the game's collectible, Power Stars, Shine Sprites, and Grand Stars, and the random HD render from the game. Too bad there's no gallery to see these, but it's a nice touch. So enough of the boring stuff, let's get on to the main part of this collection, the games. Right off the bat, these games look beautiful in HD. Everything is sharper, cleaner, and despite showing its age, Mario 64 still holds up. Also, I did an experiment and played all 3 games in docked, handheld, and tabletop, with the Pro Controller and detached Joy-Cons to see how each game controlled and what method I personally preferred. Super Mario 64. This game works well in all 3 modes, barely any problems with the controls or performance, but for more an original experience I say playing docked. Handheld works fine if you own a Switch Lite or want to lounge on the couch playing this classic, but the tabletop for me was a bit iffy because of my big hands holding the Joy-Cons. That's more of a me problem, but what is a problem is how Mario goes from a slow walk to a full sprint when using the Joy-Con's control stick. It's small, but otherwise it works well for all 3 playstyles. Super Mario Galaxy. Because of how integrated the motion and pointer controls are, it's obvious they would still include them for this port. Though I can't see why we can't just move the pointer using the control stick from icon to icon, but whatever. I'm not a game designer. This game works fairly well in dock, but using the Joy-Con grip or Pro Controller doubles as a pointer using its motion controls. Pressing R resets the pointer to the center and it's tolerable, as I've used the same motion controls when using the bow in Zelda Breath of the Wild. Just not so much when you need to collect the star bits scattered around or using the blue pulse stars. Detaching the Joy-Cons has the gameplay identical to the Wii original and works great for tabletop. Handheld is another story. One additional control to all 3 is that pressing Y spins, so you don't need to shake the controller or the console to attack, unless you want to. But to select the icons as you pulse stars in handheld, you have to use the touchscreen. Yes, in order to compensate for the pointer controls, you have to let go of one side of the console or reach over to the screen to tap what you're doing. This is easy and more convenient for some star missions, but otherwise it's a nuisance in the grand scheme of things. So 2 out of 3 playstyles, unless you own a Switch Lite, in which case you're stuck with just the one. Finally, Super Mario Sunshine. This was the game I was looking forward to replaying the most, believe it or not, as it's not been ported anywhere else, not even as a download for the Wii U. The biggest problem for me with this port was the controls. The GameCube controller had a unique feature that not many games took advantage of, and that was the pressure sensitivity of the shoulder buttons. Press it slightly for a free roam spray, press it until it clicks to spray locked in place. Here, ZR is freeze spray while R is lock spray. It's a fair compromise because of the lack of actual triggers, but for those who played the original will feel alienated with the new control scheme, especially since you can't spray from a light squirt to a full blast while running across the island. The other problem is a muscle memory problem. The GameCube's button layout was different compared to the SNES, Wii U and Switch, with the X and Y buttons being above and to the right of the big A button. It allowed you to switch nozzles at a moment's notice. Here I have to remember that X is the top button, not helped by the fact that Flood still uses the original graphics, so it confuses me. Finally, fatally, the camera and locked aiming can no longer be inverted. To aim up, you push up rather than pull back. The camera I can forgive, but the aiming really hinders the gameplay. Combine that with the two buttons for spraying, and we have a whole mess of problems for returning fans. Only play this in docked because the Pro Controller feels as close to normal as you can get with Sunshine. Handheld is finicky, and tabletop with detached Joy-Cons doesn't add anything. Other than the content of the games themselves, which all still hold up after 13 to 24 years, I've had a lot of negative things to say about Super Mario 3D All-Stars, because it feels like a game that shouldn't exist, and probably would not have existed if not for its hyperactive fanbase. While not as bad as Sony's disastrous attempt at a mini console with a PS1 Classic, this game compilation felt like it was compiled together under a strict time frame. It would explain the absence of Super Mario Galaxy 2 and the lack of any history to the games beyond a single text box. Hopefully some of my issues, especially regarding Sunshine's inverted camera, can be patched later on. So is the collection even worth it? At $60? No. A collection of 3 games released between 1996 and 2007 should be sold for $30 or at most $40, and holding it for a limited time in both physical and digital formats is just dumb and a greedy business practice, cause you know for a fact that scalpers are making fans, or parents of fans, pay upwards of $5,000 for it. If you have not played any of these games before, why haven't you? Then it's worth a purchase if you can find it cheaper than $60. But for those who wish to replay these games, it's worth a shot, but I'd say get a GameCube or a Wii and a Wii U and play them how they're meant to be played. Mario 64, Galaxy and Galaxy 2 are available for download on the Wii U eShop, as well as Mario 64 DS, but Sunshine can only be played on the GameCube. Plus, it is the best way to play it. And you know what? You might as well get the rest because there's no reason not to play these great games the way they were meant to be played. Yes, I am a Sonic fan who likes to play Mario games. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified. And please hit the like button and rate 5 stars because that really helps out the channel. Plus, if you want to help the channel out further, you can over on Patreon for just $1 a month. Thanks again everyone, and I'll see you all next time.